guys, this is Cameron Mahaffey with Underworld Explorers. Today we're diving Ginnie Springs, Little Devil's Cave with my buddy Cory.
What's going on, fellas?
All right, yeah, he's like the OG videographer. He's really good at this, and we're gonna go through a scooter dive down to the what? White room, right?
White room.
Yeah, we're gonna go to the white room. It's really cool. So this whole cave is mostly black, right? In most of this cave, and then you get to the white room, and it's just like a perfectly white room that kind of dead ends. There is a side mount passage it might poke into and kind of show you all that, but they got some memorial rocks in there from people that's like
Some bones.
didn't make it out, right? Some bones and fossils and all that good stuff. Yeah. So we're using SUX DPVs right now. This allows us to get further into the cave. In order to get to the white room, it requires 2 jumps from the main line. So we're going to get into the cave, go through the lips, through the keyhole. At the bottom of the keyhole is a passage that we call the bone line. We'll put a jump rail into the main line, a jump from the main line to the bone line. And then we get to the last jump right before the white room. The jump's at, what, about 1,000 feet? It's about 1,000 feet into the cave. Maybe not so much, like 800 or so. And then it's about a 150-foot long jump. We're going to take a long reel and make it to the white room, and that's where it kind of terminates. So yeah, so when we use the scooters, it gets us further into the cave faster because we're not kicking against the flow. The scooter just pulls us in. As you can imagine, we have to plan our dives a little more differently than what we normally do, right? A little more conservative. So you don't want to go further in than what you want to swim out if you don't have a backup scooter. My backup scooter today is my buddy.
That's me.
Yep. So, all right, guys, let's get going. We're going to get suited up, head to the water, and we're going to do this awesome dive. Let's go.
Do it.
All right, guys, I am not going to do this long, drawn-out voiceover. I just want to tell you about some of the interesting features inside of Ginnie Springs that some of the old-timers came up with. As you'll find out, they are very clever. When we get to the bottom right here, we drop off our oxygen tank. And then we're in what they call the gallery. The gallery is about 150 feet, 200 feet long. Floor to ceiling is probably 30 feet in some places. Very wide, probably 15, 20 feet wide. Some of these boulders on the floor right there are the size of cars, so I think it's pretty cool. Typically, when you're swimming this, you have to get up in the ceiling to get away from the flow, but we're using scooters right now, so we don't have to do that. All the underwater clips in today's episode are at 150% speed, so that's why the movements look a little weird. This feature that we are at right now is called the lips. Super clever. I guess it looks like lips. So as we get through the lips, we're in a room called the keyhole room. We do a lot of the training exercises for cave training in this room. To my right now is what they call the scat pack room. It's a room where all the catfish hang out and they use the restroom there. To the left is another passage that would be the end of the lips bypass and the beginning of the keyhole bypass. It just goes out to the main line again. We're now going to the keyhole. It looks like a keyhole. I've been told that way back in the day, the main line started at the keyhole, actually. Once we get through the keyhole, we go through what we call the cornflakes, and then the line takes a 90-degree left turn, where the main line continues. To the right, where I am right now, where these double arrows are, is the bone line jump. I like to keep the line low and tight. The jump is not completely straight, so I have to do a couple little turns. This is pretty interesting. When I do the tie off into the bone line, if you pay attention, which way do I point the bolt snap? Do you know why I do that? Let me know in the comment section. Now we're scootering on the bone line. This is pretty cool. If you look at the walls, except for where everybody's hit the walls, it's pretty much black. This right now we're passing the expressway jump, which goes back to the main line. Cave kind of pinches down a little bit right here. But if you're not completely terrible, you can scooter through this without hitting the ceiling or the floor. Cory's so good, he's doing this while scootering and videoing. Way better than me. I absolutely cannot do that. We are now about 700, 800 feet into the cave where the white room jump starts. I do a couple little tie-offs to keep the line down. So this is actually a big hill. Right now, I believe we're at about 95 feet deep. And then the white room ends at around 60 feet deep, I think, like that. Something like that. Welcome to the white room. There's a little PVC pipe sticking straight up out of the ground. Just pretty much set the reel down right there on it. If I get lost in this room out of line, I shouldn't be cave diving in the first place. This is a little side mount passage in the corner. Do not go in there. It is very sketchy. The lines ran like crap. Mine traps, clay bottom. It doesn't really go anywhere, even though people lie about it. But there it is. There's all that white walls in there. During flood events, when the river rises, this will actually leak river water into the cave from this room. And then when the river levels drop again and the spring starts pumping out harder, it'll leave some river water at the very top of the ceiling in here. It's pretty cool. This is some of the memorial things we see in there. Only one I really recognize is the Reggie Ross. Now we're exiting. Oh no, I left Cory out of line. Hopefully he makes it out, guys. Decided to do a little trick, flip upside down, confuse people with the bubbles. TikTok and Instagram, people sure enjoyed it. In the corner of one of these rooms is a rock where people have been hiding fossils. This shot to show Cory and everybody else the little fossils collection point back there. They're pretty cool. I believe some of them are some dugong ribs. This tunnel right here is what we saw coming in after we jumped onto the bone line. See how much different it looks going the other way? This might be a reason some people get lost in caves sometimes without the proper training. The passage does not look the same going in as it does going out. Just cleaning up my line right now. Does anybody know what I did wrong on this jump? Call me out. What did I do? What did I do wrong? Put it in the comments. This is what they call the cornflakes. If you look at the very bottom, there's some girthite minerals. Kind of orange, looks like cornflakes. Again, super clever, the old timers. Now we're back in the keyhole room. Going back through the lips. Then through the gallery again. Gotta pick up my oxygen tank one more time. We're just sending back to the deco stop. We had maybe 5 minutes of deco on the time. It wasn't very long. Well, there we go. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hey, what's up, everyone? This is camera Mahaffey Winter Explorers, and I'm just joking. My camera did not pick up audio on my outro, so I figured I'd just do a little voiceover instead of filming another outro. Anyway, Lock Meadows, thanks for commenting, liking, subscribing. I will see everyone else on the next one.